If you have fallen off your goals this past few months, say the gym, the studies, the habit, or whatever, it could be that the distance between your intentions and actions got crowded with stress, noise, or distractions you didn't see coming. I always tell people this: you cannot wait until you feel like doing XYZ or working on your goals to do it. If you wait to feel like it, you have already lost the battle. Hi everyone, my name is Samantha and I'm a doctoral researcher. In this channel, I share my enthusiasm for healthy living, and that should be done sustainably. This is the framework I use to stay consistent, especially when I want to quit and when my schedule is just over the place and my mental space is also just chaotic. So this video in particular is specifically dedicated to my little brother. He is incredibly ambitious and currently pulling through a computer science degree. And he's also trying to build himself. But recently he mentioned that he's finding it incredibly hard to stay consistent with the exact same goals or the exact same schedule he was crushing last year. And before I dive into the meat or the actual content of this video, I want to really ask you a question, and maybe it will be worth your time. So the question is, what drives you? Are you intrinsically motivated by internal factors, things like purpose, interest, curiosity, or pride? Or extrinsically driven by external rewards, things like money, status, career, grades? So think about it. And there's no right or wrong answer here, but if you don't know which one you are, you will keep building habits that fight against your own view of life, and then you will blame yourself when things fall apart. Personally, I'll say, and I believe my friends will also agree with me, that I'm someone who is intrinsically motivated. So things like curiosity, purpose, all of that. But even with that, I still need structure. And here are the three framework I personally use to stay consistent. They might work for you, they might not, but I genuinely hope they help you or someone that is close to you. Okay, let's dive into it. The first one is decouple emotion from execution using the if then matrix. Okay, to elaborate a little bit on that, you should stay away from checking in with your feelings before you do what you said you were going to do. In this video, I will tend to use a lot of gym or workout example because that's just like my straightforward way of thinking. It's just an easier example for me because that's something I do currently or on a regular basis. So you don't check your mood before you brush your teeth. I hope you don't, but it's just a boring daily utility thing you do. And that is to say that you need to treat yourself like a hardware running a software. Of course, there are boundaries to everything, but that's how you take emotions out of executions. And to do that, you need to build an automated if-then matrix. For example, if you told yourself, I will be consistent every Tuesdays and Fridays at going to the gym or exercising, then build the metrics. Tell yourself, okay, if it's 7 a.m. and it's sunny, then I put on my shoes and I do a 50 minutes or 15 minutes, however long workout at the gym at a minimum. And if it's raining, if the weather is not cooperating, then you immediately switch to a pre-arranged indoor bodyweight baseline exercise, whatever suits your need. And if you're exhausted, just have a very, very, very easy workout you can do. If you're exhausted, then you will do, I don't know, something like 20 squats or a 2-minute plank, something like that. At that moment in time, you're not making a choice because you have already made a choice before when your head was already clear. You can even ask a friend to keep you accountable by telling them that you will give them $5 or $10 if you don't follow your matrix for that particular period in time. And this will give you some sort of momentum to keep going because you also have that extra accountability from your friend up here. Yeah, so if you want me to make a video showing some of my pre-arranged indoor routines, just leave that in the comment section and I just might make it. Perfect. Let's dive into the framework number 2. Invert the friction gradient. So on a personal note, willpower drains me long term. So instead, I need to drastically increase the friction of not doing the habit I said I would do, while also reducing the target action to an absolute joke. And when I say a joke, even a 60-second stretch counts as a win. For example, okay, if your goal is the gym Again, sorry for the gym example, but if your goal is the gym, your daily baseline should not be a 2 hour workout. You can make it 60 seconds. Pack your bag the night before, put it by the door, and the goal is removing every excuse between you and showing up. So you need to be able to build the capacity first to show up before you build the capacity to push hard. Let's dive into framework number 3, the alter ego wardrobe contract. Number 3, personality, is a fun one for me, and this is where you create a personality and detaching your identity from your past failures. For example, get one specific piece of gear you only wear to do the habit you said you were going to do. It could be a chain, it could be jewelry, it could be a specific hat or a specific pair of shoes, or it could even be a song you only play when you're doing that specific habit. And try to be consistent at using that cue or that piece of gear for yourself. And generally, the idea is you only wear this item when you're executing your specific habit. Me, for example, I have a specific chain that I use when I work out. And for whatever reason, I think there's something, like psychology about this. And what that chain does, it's sort of like giving me a boost to help me be like, okay, you're working out, you got this, you can do it, and keep showing up for yourself. That's what that chain means to me. And whatever gear yours is, tell yourself when the gear is on, you're not the tired, you're not the inconsistent person who's let themselves down before. You're someone else under contract to execute one task. And when that's done, you can take the gear off and go back to being you. I mean, it's always been you, but you go back to the normal. And to me, I don't think that this approach is childish. And personally, I do believe it's more psychological, and it works because your identity drives behavior more than willpower ever will. I know it sounds a little bit too simple, but if you try to pick one tool, just one, and try it for 7 days, before you even think about adding the next or even think about quitting. And if today, was simply about getting yourself to show up, then that still counts and that's still a win. So I wish you all the best. My name is Samantha, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.